Look, I know the fan is on in the background, but I simply do not care due to this simple fact. I turned it off for 5 seconds to try to do this, and it was so hot in here. I think the weather is something. Hold on. Um, can't type. It's currently 83. It's going to get up to 94. Excessive heat warning. Excessive heat warning. Look, I am not dealing with that. So, the fan will be on. It will be running in the background. I apologize, but at the same time, it's staying there. Because what else can I do? I'm going to see if I can pull up chat on my other screen. And by other screen, I literally mean my phone because I am broke. So, perfect. All right. I think my goal here as I stream is to prove that literally anyone can do this. So, we're motivated. We're going to try to do something. Obviously, I already got the 49 followers. I'll hope to hit 50 soon and then just try to get some views for affiliate because that'd be cool. Gonna focus primarily on Rocket League and RLCS. Primarily like RLCS side. Like I'll do some of my own gameplay, but I want to focus on, the professional side, which kind of sucks that I'm starting now, but it's whatever. Later, there's a thing on the RLCS Reddit that is the fantasy league, and I'm going to do a tier list for that. I can't release that until all the teams are released, so I can't really release that until later. But I have to do it before I see the community results on most of the polls. Otherwise, I'm going to be biased. But I wanted to get a general idea of what my tier list of those teams are. I'll probably release it on YouTube after the first round, so that'll be pretty fun. I'm in that, of course. I wouldn't be making a tier list if I was not. I might do a draft reaction as well. I think I'll release that one first. Just react and grade all the drafts. I think I have that set up. So those won't be coming till a while down the road. Primarily, though, we'll be focused on streaming RLCS. I'll do watch parties when I can. I can't do them consistently, unfortunately. But, yeah. So, I guess let's just get into it. So, with points, I will go over the results I think that are going to happen. And I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. I'm a Space Station fan. I want them to beat BDS, but I don't think they will. But here's the seeding so far. Pretty straightforward. Main events. Let's just get into it. G2 Gaiman Gladiators. This is a 3-0. There's no chance that a Gaiman Gladiator takes a game off of G2. That was a little slow. Furia Carmine Corps. This is one of the most hype matches of the first round. Obviously, Furia had a top 6 performance in Winter. Carmine Corps, Noodleland, but European favorites. I think the home crowd will back them, and I have them taking it in 5 simply due to the energy in London is going to support Carmine more than Furia can handle. Furia's going to be able to bring their own energy, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. V1 Endpoint. A lot of people are predicting Endpoint here. Archie is no slouch. I will give him that, but I don't think he's Seku either. I'll give Endpoint 1 game, but I think V1 is going to come out swinging, and I think they are still one of the best teams in the world, and I don't think they'll get upset by Endpoint. Moist Envy, same story. Everyone's looking at this group of 4 and realizing it's 2 EU teams and 2 NA teams. Obviously, you got I think that's a 3-seed NA, the 5-seed NA, the 5-seed EU, and the 2-seed EU, and one of them has to get eliminated in 13th through 16th. In this case, we'll see if it's either Endpoint or it's Envy, because there's no way that Moist Esports loses this game. I'm giving it a 3-0. BDS Team Secret. We saw this at the last major, winter major in LA. BDS won pretty handedly. I think it might have been 3-1. But they have, no shade towards Mark. They have an upgrade. Seku is simply better. They're going to win this 3-0. They're going to not drop a game to them. Space Station Pioneers. Everyone is saying look out for Pioneers. They are a good mechanical team coming out of OCE. They obviously showed improvement through last LAN. I just simply think that Space Station is not a good matchup for them. If they're against Endpoint, if they're against Envy, I have them winning those matches. They cannot beat Space Station here. I just don't think it's possible. I will give them 3-1 because I think Pioneers will take the first game, but once Space Station gets that energy going and the Daniel chance start going, it won't be there for that match now that I think about it. But once they get their own energy going, they will close it out. FaZe and Power. Power is going to surprise people. I think people are forgetting about Power. Amphis, he will show up better. I think he needs, or not just he, but like the entire team. They had a 9th through 11th finish in the fall major, but they didn't really face anyone of too big of consequence. And so when they come up against FaZe, I don't think they have a shot at winning. Unfortunately, their bracket is just super stacked, so they might just not have a chance at winning at all. Unfortunately, FaZe is not the team they're going to beat. And so, yeah, this is tough for Power. I want them to do well. I just think they are not seated high enough to show their true potential. They're probably in the top... Did I have them in the top 12 teams? No, I think I had them ranked 14th with, like, upset potential. But I just don't think they could do it against really anyone in this section of 4. FaZe is going to take this one 3-1. This is the most hype matchup of the first round in Team Liquid and Team Falcons. Obviously, Team Falcons, it'll be the first time we see Ocala on LAN. It'll be the first time we see the team since the fall major where they got 5th through 8th. Team Liquid is young and mechanical, absolutely brilliant team coming out of Europe. It's their first LAN. They won't really have the home crowd. Wait, there's no crowd for this one either. Oh, that changes everything. Yeah, because there's no crowd to back them, it's 3-2 for Furia. If they were playing in front of a crowd right then, it goes to Carbine Core. That's simply the truth. Team Liquid and Team Falcons, though, back to that. There's no home crowd to support either team, although either team would be getting massive cheers from either side. I think it's really tough to say because I know Team Liquid is a good team, and I know they are going to be absolutely insane, but I do not think they will have success at their first LAN. I think Ahmed is going to come out swinging, and I'm going to give it a 3-1 for Falcons. I'll do this one. This is how it normally goes on event day. G2 and Furia, I am not crazy. This is going to G2 this time. No, it is not the first time the G2 has played Furia. Or no, it's not the first time. But they played in winter as well, I believe. G2 took that one 4-2, I'm pretty sure. I think that was... Yeah, that was in the upper bracket, upper semifinals of that tournament. Obviously, no, both rosters are the same. Furia is really good. I just don't think they can beat G2 right now. I think Fall Major G2, absolutely, they did beat them in the Fall Major. It's just with the upgrade with Atomic, G2 just takes that every single day. Version 1 Moist. This is a really good matchup for the upper quarterfinals. We saw it at Winter Major. I think we only saw it once. Yeah, we only did see it once. It was in groups, and it was version 1 3-1. That was not in front of a crowd. Obviously, Moist performed, or they were Team Queso then. They performed really well in front of that crowd. And version 1 also did as... Actually, no, they didn't. Version 1 went 0-2 against the crowd. They still outperformed expectations. I think a really ballsy call would be to predict version 1 here. Oh my gosh, I don't know. 3-2. It goes to game 5. Nope, not 32. It goes to game 5 simply because that is the Moist Esports way of doing things, and they're able to clutch it up then. Also, it's version 1. They used to be historic for going to game 5. So, Team BDS Space Station. I want Space Station to win this so badly, but I have BDS taking it. I will give Space Station the nod in 2, just because I wanted to win, and yeah. In reality, I do think BDS wins that game, but I will be glued to my television and going insane if Space Station wins. FaZe Clan Falcons. This will be a good one. I think, while Falcons have a lot of high expectations on them, and obviously FaZe is a great opponent for round 1. I think Falcons aren't going to do as well as people are saying they're going to do. They got 5th through 8 last time, and obviously they do have their full roster now, and they're not playing with Senzo, who was a sub, but I don't think they're going to do as well, and I think that starts with this loss to FaZe. They're going to lose 3-1. Gladiators, Carmine Corps, this is not close. Everyone's saying, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people are thinking that Gladiators are going to take some games. I don't think so. And I think if they do, then it becomes a danger because, no, I don't think they'll tilt. I think the mental on Carmine Corps is better. But I just don't see it happening. FaZe were playing really off when Detonator played it. Took a game off of them. I think they might be close. I just don't think that the Gladiators will be able to pull off a game win. Endpoint Envy. This is a real matchup. To be honest, a lot of people for this matchup don't think either of these teams are the 5th best teams. Reminding them, I have to do the community poll for Reddit. But a lot of people probably wish other teams were in that 5th spot for both regions. Obviously, NRG missed the major. I don't think they had a good enough split to be there. I think Complexity would be a better team to see on LAN here than Team Envy. In terms of Europe, obviously, Dignitas is a major team that missed out. They're already locked for the World Championship, but they're not going to this one. Solari, although I don't think they get as big of a shout as they had one good event. Vitality, I know a lot of people are saying them, and they had worse results than Solari, but it's just the name brand of Vitality that's missing. That being said, in terms of these two teams, it becomes, in my mind, Archie versus Mist. I think those are the best 2 players for each team, and then the supporting cast around them. Metzenar is fantastic, relating way fantastic. Dries is really good. He showed up last LAN. Despite popular belief, they did go out 9th through 11th, but Dries was definitely the best player, at least the best looking player on that roster at the time. And LANdon also showed up really big for FaZe Clan in the fall. That being said, this one will be a close one, and it will go to Endpoint. I think that Archie will show up and get that win for them. Team Secret Pioneers. This is a good matchup for lower round 1. I like this one. This one will be very hype in my opinion. It is Sam versus OCE, and it's younger, more mechanical teams. Or at least younger. I don't know about Secret's mechanics, to be completely honest with you. I know Pioneers are like the new mechanical young guns coming from OCE. But it'll be really exciting to see this matchup. I do, however, recognize that Sam has not won a single match against OCE at an RLCS LAN, and I think that continues here as Pioneers take it 3-2. Power Team Liquid. If this is where Power is going to pull the upset, it has to be against Team Liquid, and it has to be here. That being said, Team Liquid simply have the far superior mechanic. So even if they play like it's solo standard, I think they win. It's really unlucky for Power. I'll give them 1 game because I think Amphis will at least get them through that. And then obviously, like Express and Torresos, no slashes either. Amphis is their star player, however. But I don't think that Power has the mechanics to keep up with Team Liquid, and Team Liquid will win that matchup. Lower round 2, we have Team Falcons Carmine Corps. Still not in front of a crowd. If we were in front of a crowd, this would be a very, very different result. And it's really unfortunate that I think Carmine Corps is going to go out before the crowd, because Carmine with a crowd would be so hype. It's just I don't think they're going to get it. I don't think they're going to get there. I think they've got too difficult of a bracket. Falcons will get themselves top 8. Space Station Endpoint. Let's go into Space Station 3-1. Space Station will get themselves in front of a crowd again. Endpoint is just, I don't think they're good enough. I simply don't. I think Space Station is going to show up, bring their own energy, and beat them. Version 1 Pioneers. Ooh, this could be interesting. I don't think it will be. I think it's a 3-1. I'm doing a lot of 3-1s, actually. I'll do 3, yeah. Ooh, Furia Team Liquid. I think the LAN experience is going to get Furia the win here. I think it's going to be 3. I'll give it 3-1 again. But Furia's LAN experience will get them there. Ooh, and they get a matchup against Furia. That'll be a great one, actually. Okay, we start down here because you're still best of 5s. Falcon Space Stations, I am going to go with what is probably going to be viewed as a biased opinion, but this is what I genuinely think. Obviously, the crowd will be super supportive of Team Falcons and the fact that it's in London, it's a Middle East team. They kind of made their rise playing against teams in Europe, and so I think they'll be adopted into the crowd in terms of cheering for them, unless it's against an actual EU team. That being said, Space Station also has a great fan base. The chants are going to be there. Reynolds and Arsenal are going to feed off of it. Daniel's going to keep popping off. And I think this is going to go to Game 5, but it is going to go to Space Station. And this is where Falcons are going to underperform, because I do think that's going to be the case. Everyone's going to view this top 8 result as, everyone's going to think the top 8 is underperforming for Falcons, but truth be told, that is what they had last, event. That's what they did in the fall. So I do think that Space Station takes this 1 in 5. I will be called biased for that. I don't care. It's going to happen. Watch it happen. I feel like version 1 Pioneers will be closer. I did say it was going to be closer, but I feel like I was going 3-1 for every single matchup, so I put 3-0 on that one. Because if any of them are going to be 3-0, it is going to be version 1 over Pioneers. Pioneers will come out swinging. Those will be close games if it is a 3-0. Version 1 Furia. This one will be hype. I don't know. Oh, Calm's going to be loud. I assume Furia is going to be loud. It also has to go to 5. It just simply does. I think it's going to Furia. It has to. I think they're going to lock themselves a World Region spot and get whoever that third team. It's got to be the club because they were X-era. But I think that'll get them there. G2 Moist. There is no way that's the upper bracket. Coin flip, but if Furia are informed to beat Liquid, that might carry them through. I think Liquid's going to stutter a little bit on LAN, and Furia is going to have a little bit more experience to get them through. I think they have the mechanics to just beat Power, but I don't think that's going to carry them far enough. They'll get some good experience, but they've got a really tough bracket. This section looks very difficult, and I think Power had the potential to pull some upsets. I just don't think they have the potential to pull upsets on any of these teams. Actually, most likely for them to pull an upset on is probably FaZe. So, especially if FaZe is not feeling it like they were before. But then again, they're coming off a regional win. So, G2 Moist. This one is going to be hype. This one's going to be so exciting. And I think I'm going to give it a Game 7. FaZe tend to suffer early in a major. Yeah, we'll see if that continues. I don't think it will this time, though. I think they're starting to get it figured out. In terms of G2 Moist, though, I think it goes to 7. And I'm looking at G2's Game 7 record, and I'm looking at Moist's Game 7 record. I think I'm going to pull up Wikipedia quickly, but I think G2 does not have a single Game 7 win. Oh, they do. They have one. They have. I blocked that out of my memory. They have one, but Moist also has one loss. I have it going to 7. I have Moist pulling off what is going to be an upset, and the crowd is going to go wild. BDS FaZe Clan, however, it's the super teams of this event, and I think FaZe is undefeated against BDS. Obviously, BDS with a massive upgrade in Seku, but I think it's going to continue. I think it's going to go to 7, and I think FaZe is going to take it. So, double upsets in the upper semifinals, which leaves us with G2 and Space Station. Oh, I don't want to do this one first. I don't want to do it first, but I think I have to. It's top 6. I think Space Station are going to do better than top 6. I want them to beat them so badly. Oh, no. How bold should I be? BDS is beating Furia, by the way. That is just not within question. That's going to be a 4-2. Oh, man. I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Look, I have full faith in Space Age to beat both BDS and G2. But if I'm making a prediction and being 100% unbiased, I have to give it to those two. I just have to. We get the BDS G2 matchup, however, in the lower bracket, and I think that's the silver lining of all this. This is the matchup everyone's looking for, and if I have double upsets in the upper semifinals, then lower semifinals has to be this matchup. G2 versus BDS. Everyone is saying that G2 is the best team in the world because they have the last LAN win, and BDS is not seen perform internationally. This is where that script changes. Game 7. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Goes to BDS in Game 7, and they pull off. And they become... If they win this tournament, they'll be the best team in the world. But obviously, that's probably the case for anyone. Moist FaZe. Wow, I have Europe doing really well in this tournament. I think that's to be expected, though. They have the super teams put together. Moist FaZe. I think I might give the advantage to Moist here. So many of these matches I look at, get the feeling whose day it is. Yes, it absolutely is going to come down to whose day it is. And that's why these predictions are probably going to go wrong right... what am I doing? Predictions are going to go right or wrong right about, you know, whatever the second matchup is in this route. I think this will be a surprise. I'll have FaZe taking the Game 7 against Moist, which is the big surprise. Where you can find this prediction bracket, AdamCoreRL on Twitter. You can use this shortcut. It takes you to all of the brackets that he has created. And yeah, so AdamCoreRL on Twitter. Right there. Free to fill out. You just make your own copy. This one I will give to Moist 4-2, though. I think, obviously, the super teams did great. They honeymooned a little bit. I think they're still built for, you know, future longevity and being a great team. But I think this is the downturn of where it starts to go wrong. And that's why I think G2 and BDS are going to falter a little bit in this major and fall out in the 4th and 3rd spots. And so we are going to get Moist and FaZe Clan in the finals. And this time, I think Moist is going to pull it off from the lower bracket. I got it going to 6 in the first series. And then I'll make it go to 7 in the final because that's more exciting. So I do have Moist Esports taking the London major. I don't know if Charlie is going to be there. But if he is, it's going to be super hype. So, yeah, this is what I have for final results. I hate the fact that they go out. I hate the fact that they go out at 6th, but it is what it is. LANdon points. Oh, I have this. It's not over there. So this is what I got in terms of final results. He's a fear of flying, but the rest of the team will be apparently. Okay. So yeah, I do actually have, now that you mentioned, I do remember hearing about that. So he'll obviously be watching. I think it's going to be super hype, and we're going to get some great Twitch clips of, you know, him winning the first major he's signed for. And I think hopefully it does a lot for the scene because I think him watching all these events has been super fantastic thus far. So these are the results. 13 through 16 is pretty expected. 9 through 12. Pioneers, I think, have the potential. I think this gets Renegades into Worlds, actually. I think this is the exact scenario that gets Renegades into Worlds. Liquid going out 9 through 12. That might be a surprise considering they're the 3 seed from EU. I just don't think they're going to have the LAN experience just yet. I think they are built for success in the long term, don't get me wrong. But I just don't think it's going to show up here. Karmine Corps, it's really unfortunate that it didn't get to face the crowd because I think that would have been a huge buff to them. Endpoint, it's higher than I guess I would have expected, but they had to face Team Envy. Falcons and version 1, both to be expected around there. I think this would give Fury the 3rd spot over OCE. Yeah. No, I think Sam does get the extra region spot, but I think either Pioneers or Power misses Worlds because Renegades are just higher than them in points. I'll go over that here in a second. Fury and Space Station 5th through 6th. All right. That looks pretty solid. In terms of region points, G2 with 4,000 in the end. They already have the 5 at the end. That's nuts. Okay. So this is top 7. I'm not sure if all 7 of them make it, to be completely honest. But this is the top. It's pretty much to be expected. Space Station does not pass NRG with these results. I think they need top 3 to do it. And I think it's entirely possible, but with this lineup, I think they have to beat BDS, essentially. In terms of Europe, pretty much to be expected. Carmine Corps barely passes Evil Geniuses. Wow. So Evil Geniuses is not out of this Worlds race. If Carmine Corps falls to... Oh, Gladiators. So I think Evil Geniuses is out of the Worlds race. I'm sorry, Gladiators. I just don't see you guys pulling off a series win just yet. I don't think APAC can do it. I think World Championship will be huge because you will get multiple teams. You'll get one from North and one from South, and they'll get to face multiple series, have more chances, and play against, not as good competition to get that at least first win under their belt. Renegades are still topping the leaderboards for OCE. So they will make Worlds. Pioneers make Worlds. Power does not. This is an insanely close finish in OCE. That's absurd. Wow. Okay. South America, I think these 3 will make it. It's an obvious top 3 from South America as well. They're definitely more spread out. Furia number 1 by a large margin. Secret and the Club are closer, but Crew Esports is a large drop-off. That's because they did not participate in the fall, it looks like. So I think Crew has the chance to be a LAN team next season, and I do really want to see it because I've seen some of their clips, and they look insane, and I hope they're able to continue this results in the season. I think Pioneers or Power can make top 6 or 8. They have a really good day. I think Pioneers have the potential. I think Power is just simply out-mechanicked. I wanted Power to do well, and I think they could do upsets if it wasn't for FaZe Clan, Team Liquid, or Team Falcons. I just think that's an insanely tough draw. However, Pioneers, they could beat Space Station. They obviously took the last BDS to Game 5, but that's when they were falling apart. But yes, I do think Pioneers could easily make top 6 or top 8. They could beat version 1 here. They could beat Space Station. All these matches are very winnable for them if they show up. Power, I don't think it's the same, unfortunately. I don't think Power makes it. And I think that's going to secure Renegade's path to Worlds. I don't know where I'm going. I'm flipping over every tab. Okay. Middle East of Veloce, or Falcons, Veloce. I don't think O1 makes it. So I think FaZe first. Yes, that is true. If they can beat FaZe, then it's a different story. I'm trusting the fact that FaZe won their last regional and they're going to be able to translate that. It's not a for sure, but I just hope. I'm also like a fan of Cynical as Space Station fan. I want him to do well, and I think they will just from the start. Obviously, APAC, both seeds are decided, and they aren't playing in this major. So World's region spots. What does it come down to? EU1 gets the first. That makes sense because I had Moist winning. And then 4 seeds from NA. 1 seed from SAM. 1 seed from EU. So missing out just barely, or well, actually by 100 points. But MENA and EU are pretty close. OCE has a bit of ground to catch up. I thought it would be interesting if Pioneers make that top 6 run. I think, or maybe even top 8. They might be able to squeak into these spots. And I think it'd be really funny if it comes down to the fact that Sandrock couldn't attend the last major. Because that got Pioneers into the bracket. So if they make it by just that much, it'd be insane. So what we end up with for World's main event teams is super exciting in my opinion. We got BDS, G2, FaZe, Moist, NRG, Space Station, Furia, Endpoint. And I think that's a really solid group. Endpoint over Dignitas, I think they're already outscoring them, and it's kind of unfortunate that they get most of their points through Seiko being there, but I think they also are a very solid team and will show up to the event. All of these teams are still very competitive despite roster changes or recent results. So In terms of wildcard teams, we have Complexity in here, and that's very exciting to me. I want to see Complexity at this World Championship. I think they will make waves. I think they can easily get out of wildcards. I think they'll show up to any land that they're able to make it to. Version 1 and Envy also there. I don't think Envy's going to make it out of wildcards, but we'll see about that. It'd be cool. I wonder if I can get a World Championship based on the predicted results, but I'm guessing I cannot. Yeah, Complexity do well under pressure. I know from experience. Dignitas, Semper, and Carbine, in terms of Europe, I think Dignitas will get their act together by this wild card and they can make it out. Semper, I'm concerned about. I don't think they're one of the top 6 teams from Europe anymore since they lost Archie. So, Carmine Corps will be excited to see them at Worlds. I don't think they will have as big of a crowd base, but I think there might still be some Carmine Corps fans that try to fly out. And that'd be really cool to see. In terms of OCE, Renegades, and Pioneers, Renegades seem to be on the downturn recently. I hate to say it because I am a Renegades fan. I love CJ, but I think the better 2 teams might be Power and Pioneers. I think Pioneers here is absolutely the right move. Pioneers are definitely one of the top 2 teams in OCE right now. Renegades, I hope they can show up to this wild card. I think they can make it out if they have some good draws and, upset the number 1 seed from EU, because that'd be kind of sweet. Renegades over Dignitas would be interesting. And then in terms of Sam, we got Secret in the club. I think that's good. Those are both teams that made it to previous lands. Furia obviously gets this spot, and that's huge for them. I think it's definitely well-deserved, and Sam has been, regarded as a region with really good mechanics and have the potential, and they finally, I think they're going to show it. They showed it in winter. I think they'll continue to show it here in spring, and they'll get themselves one of those spots. For Mina, they're just barely missing out. I think it'd be a different story if Falcons had made it to Winter Major, which is really unfortunate. But Falcons and Veloce, I think those are the right 2 teams to go from the Middle East. And it'll be very exciting to see all of the original Sandrock Gaming roster at the World Championship, despite Senzo being on a different team. Tokyo Verde, Gaiman Gladiators, Pirates, and Bravado. These 4, I'm interested to see how they do against each other. Bravado started to come up at the end of the SSA season. They won 2 of the last 3 events. They won 2 in the spring. So they're on the upswing compared to Pirates recently, but other than that, it seems like a 2-team region. I haven't watched any of it, I will say. But I know these are the only 2 names that I've recognized coming out of this region. Actually, ATK was one of the top 2 in the fall, but ever since then, it's been Bravado. Tokyo Verde, we obviously saw them in fall. Realized it'll be good to see him at the World Championship. It's unlucky that we don't see Detonator. I think it'd be really cool to see them, but they did not have enough results over the course of the season. I think we will see Detonator again at a LAN next year. Gladiators, we'll see how they do this event, but it's a big TBD. I just think the 0-2 matchups will be very interesting because we'll see some of these lower teams. I expect it's probably just going to be these 4, unless one of them manages to take a game and get themselves a higher seed. No, it doesn't work like that. Or they have to take a game in round 1, and then maybe they get a higher seed and maybe face one of them. But I anticipate we'll see multiple matchups in between these games, and I think those will be very interesting to see in terms of how the emerging regions are doing against each other. So, seeding for the wildcard event is not yet known, so I guess I can't do any World Championship bracket, which is really unfortunate. But that is what we have. Those are my predicted results for the Spring Major. These would be your world teams if in case. And yeah, I think I'm going to go back and change some results to see if Pioneers do well. 3-2. I'll put them top 8. How does this change World's region spots? Does not quite get OCE there. Gets them really close. But NA4 still just barely makes it. So how do I finagle this a little differently? This is 4. So version 1 would have to do worse. So if I pull this upset, which is not going to happen in my opinion at all, and then I have, but I still have them going out there because then they face Envy. Whoa, What's the path for OCE getting this? Maybe it's here. I think it's here. Hold on. I'll put this 3-2 again, just because that's the original result I had. I'll have this 3-2. And then Pioneers beat Endpoint. That's a winnable matchup. This is not. All right. And so, and then, oh my gosh, there's no way. I can't do that. Do they have it here or no? Because they make top 8 still. No, they don't. It's going to take... There's no way it takes a Space Station loss to Team Secret. No, because that gives Mina the spot. Also, maybe this has to be winnable then. Okay. So this definitely has them in. This has the OCE 1 seed, and then that would give Pioneers and Power the chance. If it doesn't depend on this, then it's entirely possible. Copium, right there. Also, Copium. No, just have Pioneers lose first and then win through top 8. I think I had that briefly, and then it's really awkward because basically an NA team has to get like 4th here. And so it's going to depend on like Space Station or FaZe Clan falling. So kind of surprising. Curious about this. This gives OCE the spot. Actually gives a tie. Tie for automatic qualification spot goes to the team with better recent placement, and that would be Pioneers in this case. So it would give OCE the spot. Would prevent Complexity from going to Worlds. I might drop. What happens if this is a 2 or 3 in terms of Space Station? They just make the lower bracket in terms of Game 5s. Oh my gosh. Still, Sam is just miles ahead. So it is a difficult road for Pioneers to make it. I think they have to make... Do they have to make top 6? I think they might have to. Unless FaZe Clan bomb out round 1, which is probably not happening. G2 bombing out round 1 is definitely not happening. And so I think it comes down to NA4 doing poorly. And so it's going to take... Oh, if this is Mina, though. Okay, so let's have you winning that then. And then Falcons going out 9 through 12, which I'm not going to lie, isn't impossible. This is not far-fetched. So, and then I'll have Liquid winning here. That's a completely different result. World's region spots. It would go to NA4 here simply because I have Space Station making the run, though. So, or is it because I have Space Station making the run? Because Space Station's NA3 right now. I think it comes in between a top 6. Furia gets knocked down 9 through 12. It's Liquid. It's easier for OCE. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. That gives it to OCE, yeah. So it's going to take Sam doing poorly or NA4 doing poorly. And honestly, I see Sam doing poorly a lot more. Simply because there's enough NA matchups for it to basically be... It's very difficult. Like, it's, Space Station has to lose to Team Secret. Otherwise, one of them are guaranteed to go out here. So Team Falcons... Mina would just barely miss it, too. This would be an insane finish to the World's region spots with 3 teams at 780 and OCE 1 making it at 800. So this gets a lot of teams there. Doesn't get the club there. That's the one that we'd be missing here. So it'd be difficult, but not impossible for OCE to make it if a top 8, a top 6. I don't say it guarantees them a spot, but it's definitely like top 6 you start thinking about it, I guess. So realistically, OCE needs to make top 6. Yes. Top 8. I don't even think top 8's a coin flip. I think that's trying to roll a nat 20. I think you can't expect a top 8 performance because, like, they haven't gotten top 8 yet. They've gotten 2 9 through 12s, which certainly helps them. Actually, yeah, they've gotten 9th through 11th and then 9th through 12th. And so they haven't gotten a single top 8, so making top 8 would be very difficult. I keep doing that. So OCE probably needs a top 6. It would be their first top 8 if Pioneers make it, and I don't think it's out of the question. So, yeah, this is what we end up with in the finals. World Championship, or this is not what we end up with the finals. I've messed with this a bit. So, let's see if I can fix this in terms of what my predictions were. 3-1, I think I had. Space Station Red Endpoint, Carmine Core. This is 3-1. Pioneers over Steam Secret Game 5. Yep. Pioneers, or no, this is over Liquid, and then I'm pretty sure this. Oh no, this is not what we had. That's what we had. Okay. It's going to be an exciting major. I think this is where my bracket really falls apart once these two upsets don't come through. But I do think it's entirely possible, and I think it's going to make for some very exciting content. So, unfortunately, that is all the time I have for this. I probably will be streaming either Minecraft or Rocket League later. Probably either playing Bed Wars or just playing Rocket League. I'm on a new keyboard. It's the only way I can actually stream and not crash my laptop, because I'm not running on a high-tech situation. So we'll see. My mechanics are not as good because of that. So, wish we had crowd days for more than top 8. Yes, that's the only reason Carmine Core doesn't make it further. I think Carmine Core beats Furia if that's in front of a crowd. So it's really unfortunate. I think I went on Reddit and said that too, so a little embarrassing by me. But yeah, unfortunately, I do have to take a break. I will be back later, but those are the LANdon predictions. Thanks for tuning in.